This Oklahoma recruiting situation, based on current crystal balls, leans from some prominent people that should know what they're talking about, man, there's a lot of favorable situations in OU's camp.
It definitely. I was telling you off air. Obviously, a lot of things have happened since Friday. The biggest of which for Oklahoma fans right now would be the fact that the number one running back composite in the country, Taylor Tatum, has committed to the Sooners over that hated Southern Cal team and Lincoln Riley there, which were his top two choices. So that was big for OU fans. It's been a lot to talk about. Of course, getting two sides of it whenever you start listening to what they have to say at obviously coming out of SC, they didn't really need him anyway and stuff like that. But it's, that's to be expected. It's a big pickup for OU, though. I've told you that I felt like they had, if not the best running back room in the country, definitely one of the top two or three anyway. This doesn't do anything but make it better. That goes along with you end up having Xavier Robinson already being a part of this class, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You still kind of have – it still appears that they're going to get another one of the top-rated backs in the country as well, although it's not guaranteed as of right now. But – I mean, Taylor Tatum is, if you look at his film, he is explosive. He's a two-sport athlete, going to be playing baseball for the Sooners as well, a la Kyler Murray from a few years back. This is a kid who lights it up on both ends. The story that you heard during this before the signing was how he had actually one day they had a track meet. They had him jump in on the 4x100 meter relay team as a fill-in. They go on, win that event easily. He runs from his spot there, runs across the street, changes into his baseball uniform, leads off the game for his team, Longview, there with a home run. And then, of course, he had 33 touchdowns a year ago. What was it, like 3,000 rushing yards, along with 7 more touchdowns receiving. This kid is a home run threat in more ways than one.
I'll line up the running back situation and comparison this way.
Right.
I get the USC argument, and anytime a fan base loses a commit, there's going to be a part of the fan base is going to say, this is the end of the world. Why didn't we get him? This is horrible. Then there's going to be part of the fan base that's going to say, we didn't need that guy anyway. We didn't want him. It wasn't that big a deal. We're fine. Right. And that might be 90-10. It might be 50-50 in terms of the USC fan base. Based on what comes back to me, based on the feedback I hear, it sounds like it's about 90%. We're fine. We're good. Not a big deal. Whatever. Okay. USC is going to be loaded and fine at running back. However, let's understand that there are different levels of players at positions. So did USC want Taylor Tatum? Of course. They wanted him badly.
Of course they did.
When Alabama had TJ Yeldon at running back, did they have a good number one running back? Yes, he was really good. Really, really good. Did they not want and sign Derrick Henry, who was a lot better? Yes, they still upgraded. TJ Yeldon was fine. They were good enough to win national championships, but that doesn't mean you don't want a special player. And Taylor Tatum projects to be a special player.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is that when you start looking at the OU running back room, as I've told you, this is a stat running back room as is. Even if they hadn't gotten him, I mean, to me, I felt like this was, even though he's the number one running back in the country, as far as the composite's concerned, 5-star kid, he's a composite 5-star. You would have to say that when you start looking at it, look, you have Javonte Barnes, who's just a sophomore. You've got Gavin Sawchuk, who looked amazing in the Cheez-It Bowl against Florida State. He is a home run threat. They can take the top off of a defense as quick as anybody can. You've got Daylon Smothers coming in as a freshman. They expect big things from him. The same thing with Hicks, another freshman. Expect big things from him. They still have Marcus Major in there for another year, and if he could stay healthy, this is a guy that was drawing comparisons, when he came in, to Adrian Peterson as far as his athleticism and speed was concerned. This is, there's, Tawi, good grief. You still got there's a number of guys that are still in this room that could absolutely be a threat at any point on the field. And so in the end, and you know what USC's about. They always have amazing running backs. They're storied. Their storied history includes running backs as far back as you can remember, going all the way back to, O.J. Simpson and guys like that won the Heisman Trophy. Reggie Bush most recently, Lindell White, when you start remembering back to their most recent glory days. Look, bottom line is that you just made it better. And don't tell me that USC didn't want to make theirs better as well, and they would have. Otherwise, Lincoln wouldn't have been recruiting him, nor would everybody else in the country for that matter, So this is, in the end, this is a huge pickup, not just because you beat out Lincoln Riley and USC for it, but because that if you're Brent Venables and you're coming off of a 6-7 season and wanting to prove that you belong as a head coach at this level and with a blue blood program like Oklahoma, that you can recruit with the best of them. We're about to talk about some guys that it looks like he's definitely going to cement that home this season, following a number 8 recruiting class within a month of getting the job, and a number 4 recruiting class last year that included 3 5-stars. That was, it's arguably the best recruiting class in Oklahoma history, or at least in the 247 era, and it's probably going to be better this time around. It just, bottom line is that this is a big pickup, and when you're fighting to get back to where Oklahoma fans expect Oklahoma to be, this doesn't hurt anybody. And, particularly whether or not we agree with it or understand it or anything else, when you beat out Lincoln Riley for a guy that he wanted, then that's a big deal whenever he left the way he left the program.